Kev, good to see you again. Given that you are here at the top table, I will presume that you are taking charge of the team on Saturday.
Yeah, that's the plan. Like I said to the lads and stuff, like until told otherwise, that's the position that it is, and obviously I'm here to do a job, and yeah, so I'll be back in the dugout or on the bench on Saturday. Yeah.
Bench, dugout. Have you made a decision yet on your own self?
Again, it's one of them ones I enjoyed I enjoyed it to a certain extent the other night, doing a bit of both as such. It was harder for sure, but yeah, that's one of the ones. It's the best of the team. Obviously, we've got a big squad. It's who and what's needed at the time. That's from the short term experience. That's probably the hardest part about it all. Actually, is when you've got such a big squad, is weighing up what's best, what the game will look like, and so on and so on. So there's decisions to be made. Obviously, I'm just doing that there just now. So we'll come to a conclusion on all that by the end of the day.
You say such a big squad. I suppose that decision is made harder when you've made the amount of changes that you made on Tuesday, and there were so many good performances as well. So good headaches going into Saturday.
Yeah, again, it is a good headache. Always going to be. I thought we applied ourselves brilliantly the other night. I thought we were good throughout most spells of the game. But yeah, it's that's part of football. We have got a big squad. We've got a good squad, and that was shown on Tuesday. So as I said, it's a good headache, and it's probably the first time I'm going to actually deal with it. Yeah.
The role of being player manager and actually playing and managing at the same time, was it a case of learning on the job a little bit as the game went on Tuesday?
It was, yeah, and I think I probably just transformed back into player mode. Just was quite vocal on the pitch, and at the same time I was trying to think of the things that I've been trying to say to the lads to do on the pitch, and obviously me also being able to carry it out as well. So there's a couple of times I was the main culprit of us not being successful when we done certain things. So that was obviously harder and stuff, and it's different. Obviously I can't see what's happening behind me on the pitch and stuff. So it was tough going, but it was good. I think it worked. It worked out well. We got the win, which is the main thing, but I thought it worked well on the whole, to be honest with you.
You said after the game that the EFL trophy gave you the opportunity to test the water on that front. Would you feel confident enough in doing that in a league game?
I think it would do, yeah. I think definitely. I think I was again just played to see. Obviously played 80 minutes the other night, done reasonably well, as we did as a team, and I think there's going to be times that's going to happen for sure. If it'll be this weekend, I'm not exactly too sure just yet. We're wait on numbers being confirmed, but we'll wait and see. Yeah.
You lead me on to my next question. Numbers wise, I mean, how are you shaping up going into Saturday?
I think we're all right. I think I don't think there's any sort of issues to report as such. I think we're okay on that front. Obviously, Big Dan's picked up a little knock. We'll see how he is in another 24, 48 hours. We'll see. So a decision on him will be made later on. But other than that, a couple of the lads have always had a full rest. Other guys had a bit of time off. But yeah, it will be good to go. That's for sure.
Just on a couple of players that have been out of the fold recently, we know that Alex Patterson picked up an injury at Tranmere. Just on him first, what is the latest on any timescales? Yeah,
I think Patter's going to be a short term on the sidelines. That's been confirmed. So probably looking at a few weeks for Pato. Again, it's probably going to need to be probably a little bit taken care of this time. Probably a little bit more careful, because we obviously want Pato's been such a big part of the start of the season. Yeah. He was successful at the start of the season, and he's the most frustrated player out there. Do you know what I mean? So he'll be out for a few weeks, Pato. But one thing about Pato is he's already got his head down working, and he'll want to be back sooner. But we need to be careful at this time.
Clark's obviously not featured of late as well. Just what's his situation?
Again, Clark he's had a bit of a niggle since he went away with Kenya. I think it's something to do with that. I don't really know. At that time I was fully playing, so I just knew he had picked up a little. So I think he's touch and go at times. I think it's just one of the ones where until he feels comfortable within himself, then we can fully commit to that. So again, Clark is another one. I'm not really entirely too sure on Clark just yet. I've not actually spoke to the physios as of this afternoon, but soon enough, Clark will be back in the fold for sure. Yeah.
Ryan Tulloch.
What was Ray was ill, like a good few of us. So Ray was ill. He's obviously trained this week, so he's going to be back in contention. I've not spoke to him after training today, but he trained most of it today. I think he trained most of the training today, so there's a good chance he'll be back involved. But again, just an illness. Like there's numerous people going around, and it's just obviously one of these things that's going around this time of the year.
Final one on the absentee front, just the longer term absentees in Harry Chapman and Verdane Oliver. The previous manager said that Harry Chapman was getting close. Is that still the case? And just secondly, what's Verdane's situation?
Yeah, well, from obviously I think the previous gaff, it's probably just, to make it simple, it's probably just closer now. Yeah. He's been, obviously this week's not probably heard, the last couple of weeks with Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, we've not been able to get like much volume in terms of, he needs full training. That's what Chappie needs. He knows it himself. He's getting up to speed, short and sharp stuff, but he needs probably bigger distances, and when you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, there's no real time for that. So he's obviously still a bit of a risk to be thrown at the deep end at this moment in time, but he'll be back soon enough. Chappie's training well each day. You can see him getting better, getting more confident, and he'll be back soon enough. On the other one, on Verdane, again, started training like the protocol as physios and stuff. You know, you're straight line running, all this and that, and then now he's involved in some passing drills and I think some possession drills. So again, phases is always known as a longer term one. I'm not entirely too sure. I spoke to him not long ago as well, but I'd imagine again still a few weeks, because he's going to need to get a good bit of training under his belt, kind of full pre-season type thing as well. So in time they'll both be back.
A week into this role now for you. I mean, you say they're having meetings with physios, doing media, wearing the blue tracksuit. I mean, how are you finding this role more generally, and is it at all changed your mind about what your initial sentiment was last week, which was that you want to stay playing?
No, I think it's that'll continue to be the same way. I think it's not changing. It's been a good week. Yeah, it's I'd probably say that it's hectic at times. I think that's probably how it is. It's obviously, of course, it's all hard work. You don't mind a bit of hard work. I mean, you have it easy enough most of the time, so I don't mind kind of, for the benefit of the team and the club. It's the stuff that happens kind of behind the scenes, and then obviously on the pitch, which is the main thing. And all we can do as a staff, and me as a caretaker manager, is put a team out that's going to try and go out and win games and win games in the right fashion. And fortunately enough, the last two games we have done, and we've got a tough place to go, probably the hardest place to go in the league. So we know we're going to raise it again. But no, it's the same kind of thing for myself. Like I played Tuesday night, I enjoyed myself, and I might have looked at a place to use, I'm not sure, but I was all right when I played. I felt I performed well and stuff as well. So I think I've always thought of myself in terms of, until my kind of body and that's at that point, then I'll try and play as long as I can. How long that is, I don't know, but nothing's really changed on my side now.
Obviously 2 wins helps, and saying this in a hypothetical sense, but another win maybe on Saturday, and that just keeps the feel-good factor going. I mean, are you open to the possibility of letting this run for its course if the team keeps winning and things seem to be going in the right direction?
I think again, like I've spoke to obviously Ryan a couple of times, and until I'm told kind of otherwise, that's the kind of plan. But he'll be having conversations with people and stuff, I'm sure. But yeah, it's one of them ones where, as far as I'm concerned, I'm here to do a short term job. It's not going to go into months and months and months, but it's a short term job, and however long it may be, then I'll continue to do what we've done this past week, and I'll continue to do so until told otherwise, to be completely honest with you. And
on that, I mean, how much of an aid have Mark Truman been, and obviously we've seen Matt Derbyshire part of the backroom staff as well, just how has that helped you? Yeah, massively.
Truey, Darbs, obviously all the staff, the analysts have been spot on. Truey's got a lot of knowledge. He's a good coach. He's a lot of advice obviously from Truey, so he's been a big help, because obviously without these people you'd have a clue, but not to the extent on certain things. So, and obviously Darbs has been good. Darbs has been good with the strikers. Darbs obviously a top striker, so he's good in that advice for Cookie, who's he's not, I wouldn't say obviously young. He's 32. I think he was 32 years old, but he's got a lot to learn from Darbs. Darbs is a clever striker. That's what Darbs is. He always has been. So Cookie appreciates that, and that's where kind of Darbs has filled in with a lot with the strikers and the kind of attacking players. So all in all, everyone's pitched together, because as I said at the very start, that it's going to be a bit of a kind of an open book, and if you see things or think things are negative or positive, then make sure you say it, because we're all here to learn. We're going to learn off each other, and that's what we've done so far.
What's your preparation told you about Wimbledon?
Well, they've got some of the best stats in the league, that's for sure. So they're obviously the lowest goals conceded in the league. I hope I'm right on that. But yeah, lowest goals conceded. So listen, we know it's going to go down there and be a tough game. it's going to be a hard game. We're going to kind of start fast and kind of impose our game on them first and foremost. And that's the way I want to be every single game. It's no disrespect to any teams in the league, but we've got a squad that we believe we should be doing. Well, we should be doing much better. It's a fact, but we want to be going to these places and taking the game to them and going to win. We're not going out there to draw and things like that. We're going every place to go and win. Same as Tuesday night pass, same as Saturday, same as next week, and it's about building momentum in these leagues. And we've got a couple of games. We've won a couple of games just of recent, but it means nothing now because we go Saturday and we go there to try win again.
Has it been good for you that players have, albeit in the short time that you've been in the role, have bought into what you're asking from them? We've just spoken to Alex Gilliard, who said that there has been a slight change from what the previous manager was asking, that might not see as much of the ball, but that front-footed approach, it's obviously showing that the team can play that way and it's producing results.
I think it's an awkward one as well, because I think even with previous, I felt like we didn't. Personally, I didn't feel we had lots of the ball as such, considering the players and the players we've got in the dressing room. So I think this the kind of a little bit approach, maybe a little bit more front foot. But at the end of the day, our aim is to get the forward players on the ball as quick as we can. That's how you win games. That's where the best players are. That's the match winners and stuff. So that's where we want to get the ball to. And there's a way of doing that. There's a way to set up to allow that to happen. And that's what we've probably mainly worked on is where can we allow that to happen. And I feel we've set up well at times to. Little tweaks here and there in the kind of forward areas, the midfield areas and stuff that have allowed that. And I think the last two games we've been playing to see we've created chances. We've been when we get our foot on the ball in the right area at the right time, then we've picked teams off in my eyes quite easily, and we should have scored more goals than we have done, but we've not. But that's part of football. We've rode our luck at times as well. But in terms of what we've done on a training pitch, it's been transformed onto the pitch, and I feel we've performed well. Listen, In time, in years to come, me as a manager would play a certain brand of football and try and play a certain brand of football. I understand that in a short time we need to get results as a football club, and at this moment in time, it's the best way to do it. In my eyes, is the way we've been doing it.
Have you learned anything about yourself as a manager in the last week?
I don't really know how to even answer the question, to be completely honest, because I don't really know if I had any sort of style of manager before. So I'm not winging it in any way at all, but no, I don't really know. I wouldn't say as a manager. I think just as a probably person, I've probably touched into probably more things I've learned, and it's probably sunk in more previous when I've took things on board. Now it's in my head, where when I first got told about it, and I was thinking to myself, I could be not too sure how I'll take this here. But when I went onto the pitch and that, these things have kind of seemed to kind of click back into my head, because I've not done coaching for a while because I've focused on playing. So the last year and a half, I've not really done much at all. So. I think it's kind of clicked back into place, which is what I thought might happen, but I was never too sure. And fortunately enough, I am. And since that, it's more and more just kind of came back. The little things when I'm watching videos and stuff, I'm thinking, okay, maybe what did we do at this club? What did that happen? And these little outcomes, and I feel I've tapped back into that, which is then gave the players a bit of confidence, and it's kind of been everyone together. Has then, in my eyes, has been two good performances and results.
Do you get as much sleep?
No, but that's 2 kids.
Fair enough. Best looks, hasn't it?
Thank you.
You're saying obviously about you've been talking to Ryan. Is he sort of keeping you into sort of in the loop pretty much about what's going on in the bigger picture?
No, not really. No, and to be honest with you, it's one of them ones where I'd prefer that's his side. I would never be kept in the loop as a player, and obviously it's different now. But no, it's not like we speak obviously leading up to games and things like that. But that's what I want. My focus to be on is that I can't afford to start thinking longer term. What's this happen? What's that happen? I need to focus on what, especially this week has been Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. It's been quite hectic since Thursday. So what a weekend it's been 100 miles an hour. So come next week, then potentially might chat, see what's kind of happening in terms of that side of things. But no, in this week it's been sole focus has been on putting out a team that's able to perform and try and win games.
Turning it around the other way, is that a good thing then, that fact that they've sort of left you alone to focus on the games rather than perhaps bogging you down with this is what we do and we might be doing this and might be looking at that?
Yeah, I think he's obviously Ryan's been spot on and said anything you want or whatever else like this and that, then get in contact. But we obviously speak pre-game, we speak post-game and stuff, and how I'm going to set teams up and stuff like that. And I think again, that's probably one thing I've learned, is that's kind of how it works between chief executives and managers. Didn't really know, obviously you wouldn't know, but that's kind of how it is. You're obviously on the phone, obviously a lot more and things, but it's the way I see it coming into this is like I'm a player and a caretaker player manager at this moment in time, but in my eyes we're here to get results as a football club, and I think it's bigger than, the situation is bigger than myself. It's bigger than a group of players. It's about a club being successful, and I think like we've been 2 games. I'm never going to get carried away ever, even if we won Saturday, whatever. It's not going to change. It's not going to change how I am. But I think there's a bigger picture, and the bigger picture is winning games in the long term, ultimately leading to what everyone wants as a promotion. That's the end goal for me and everyone within that building.
You said about obviously the team ethic in terms of the coaching staff around you. Obviously, you mentioned Mark Truman. You know, he's been a caretaker before. He's been a manager before. Did you feel a little bit apprehensive that he was helping you? Thinking most people would have thought, "Oh, Mark Truman will be in charge because he's got the experience."
I knew this. I knew he'd been a caretaker and manager before, but again, it was probably unexpected for everyone. It was unexpected for everyone on the whole in terms of me to kind of come into it and stuff. But like, I think we're a group of player staff that my message will never change on that side. It'll never ever change. The fact is we're here to work. There's no sort of animosity or anything at all. And within that, True's been spot on. And I just think everyone in these moments like this, no one wants a manager to get sacked. Like I said last week, like no one wants that. The reason why he's got sacked is because of us being on the pitch on a Saturday. So I think in moments like this, everyone's got to pull together, and the staff have done. And True's been a huge part of it. True took the team on Tuesday. Like, I couldn't have said, you take the team and I'll be on that pitch and whatever I can do. Because there's probably times that True was probably thinking I was certainly culprit of a couple of things that kind of went wrong on Tuesday. But True took the team and I thought we put a good performance on the whole. So True's been good, along with, like as I say, every single member of staff's been kind of bought into it. And again, like I said just a second ago, that it's a bigger thing is us getting results longer term. In the short term, yeah, but at least the longer term, which leads to promotion. That's what everyone wants.
And from Tuesday night, having seen the Manny sending off again, did the club decide against taking any further action at all?
I think I actually was away to see him, and I think I got nipped in here before. Obviously, Mark, I think it's the secretary, is one of them ones where that's going into it, but that's definitely in the process. That's going to be the process. I'm sure it'll be in by now. I don't know. I think there's a time frame of something. You mentioned that, but yeah. Anyways, that's in the process of happening because we strongly believe it, and again, that won't change. I think what's kind of happened is obviously maybe the reports have now tweaked a little bit, which from what I gather in there seems to be the case with these situations. But as I say, I've never been in this situation, so I don't really know what happens. But yeah, there'll be appeal going in, and we'll see what comes of it.
You'll know you're a full-time gaffer when you get an apology on the phone.
Well, I've not had an apology yet, so we'll see. Yeah.
I was going to say, looking at that, as you said the other day, you've never been in this sort of situation before, but when you sort of see that, is that the frustration of being on a touchline when you can sort of see a decision like that, which...
It is, yeah. I mean, as I say, I've been on the end of them ones being in the Mane position or being in the other centre-half's position, but I think like when what's said is said, and when it's happened with fourth official referee, and what was said regarding how it went around, and then when you get a report and that's kind of changed a little bit, obviously, that makes it frustrating. I think that side's the frustrating part, because now we'll see how it happens obviously from this appeal, but again, yeah, it is frustrating, that's for sure, because we don't believe it was a sending off. We firmly believe it wasn't a sending off. Yes, it was a heated moment. It kind of kicked off a little bit, but come on, man, if that's a sending off, then it's a problem, isn't it?
And we can confirm it would only be suspension in that competition, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's one thing I learned also, is that it would be 3 matches in the EFL Trophy. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
To what extent, Kevin, in the last few years, when you've been involved in training sessions and games, have you been thinking along the lines of, if I was manager, I might do this differently, or I like the way he's done that?
I think like last year, I liked it. Gary Calder was a really good coach. I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot, but I just think like it took up little bits just kind of throughout, probably from over kind of the course of the past, say, 5 years. I just picked up little bits, and I worked with complete different managers in terms of Ranieri was a complete defensive coach, so there've been lots and lots from that, and I had fully attacking coaches. So I mean, somewhere in between that is where I kind of need to be in terms of as a playing style and stuff. So, but I think you just pick up little bits here and there. But I did take I did take like a lot of notes over the kind of course of these last few years, and I didn't expect to need to use it at this exact moment in time, but I am, and it stood me in good stead so far for these last 2 games, and there's still obviously kind of hopefully more to come. Well, there will be more to come, but look, again, the main thing for me is just I'm enjoying something like this. I didn't know exactly how I'd take it, but I've enjoyed it, and it's still a strange situation because obviously, you know, one day I'm wearing a green training tracksuit, next minute I'm in blue, and but it's good fun, yeah.
But I mean, you say about not expecting to use the notes. Did you find from day one that you already had plenty of ideas formed just from what you've been thinking to yourself over the course of the season?
Yeah. Like I've always had kind of ideas in a way, and I always believe in certain things that I've said to the lads, and I'll always continue to believe in the way things should. As I say, in a longer term, a footballing style would most likely kind of change a little bit, but in a shorter term, then things you got to adapt, and that's what we've done so far. And the main thing the best thing for me is the boys have all bought into it, the staff's all bought into exactly what we've kind of tried, and you know, as I say, it's a bit of like you can come knock on the door anytime you want, and there's things that you think's great or you think things are rubbish, then say it. It's no problem with me. We can look into anything. So, but no, I've took a lot of knowledge from previous, and I'm trying to use it to the best of the club's abilities now.
And Alex talked about how you had to be a slightly different person Tuesday to Thursday last week. Were you conscious of that at the time?
Oh, what did he say actually?
He said you
were
laughing and joking with them on Tuesday, and on Thursday you were their boss.
Oh right, yeah. Like it's funny, like it is, because like it's something different, isn't it? No one really kind of expected it, especially the players. But I think that's one thing I'd want to always bring. Is always want to bring like a kind of a relaxed environment, a kind of fun environment to be around. There's, you know, we work hard when it's time to work. In between that, listen, you do it. I've always been a player who loves a laugh and a joke and stuff when you're at the right time. So that's the way it'll always be, as long as I'm in charge here.
I mean, do you think that's important to get the best out of people? Because I'm sure some of the managers you've worked under were a bit more hard work, some were a bit more laugh and joke.
Yeah, and again, like I'll be the first to say, like when we're on the training pitch, and I say I'm quite strict and quite vocal. I want things done right because that's the way I've always been as a player. But I mean, in changing rooms and things like that, like as long as you're doing your work in the gym and then on the training pitch and working towards what happens on a Saturday, that's all that matters. You know, in between that, like it's, you know, a set of footballers, a set of lads who there's 25 different personalities in there. They all come together. It's good fun. It is. Yeah.
And obviously, short term, you're doing a job to help out the club, but long term, do you think the role of player manager is sustainable nowadays? Now that you've seen everything that's involved,
I think it's sustainable when you've got obviously good like staff members not around you. I think it is sustainable. Yeah. Do I believe it would be harder? Yeah, I would also. Yes, it would be harder for sure. Tuesday was part of that, but. Again, it depends where you want to be. If you want to be a player manager, you want to play every single game and stuff, then it'd be hard. If you want to kind of dip in and out, then I think it's sustainable, yeah, for sure.
It's one of the hard bits, just assessing yourself and, you know, whether you're worth a place in the team every week.
Yeah, well, you could put yourself in the team every week, no one's going to say anything, so that's a bonus. But like I was playing in the games before, I've kind of decided to pull myself out of the team for the benefit of the team. If there's a time comes where I think to myself, right, okay, you could do with someone who has a knowledge or whatever, the way the certain qualities I bring to the team, then I've got no question to put myself in there.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one of the ones. It is trying to find a balance, and that's probably always going to be trying to find the hardest balance. For if this is 2 weeks, if this is 2 months, whatever it may be, then it's trying to find that balance, and that'll always be the case. That'll be the same every single day. I think that'll be game dependent, injuries and so on. I don't think it's a hard one to kind of answer because it's every day is going to be different in my eyes.
Thank you.
You've been at clubs before, Kev. I think at Wolves in League One, where there's this perception that they're too big for the level they're at. And does this feel similar in terms of, you know, there's a vibe around the city, there's a perception around the city that the club has to get promoted. Can you feel that? Does it feel similar to that time at Wolves?
I think when you come on a Saturday at Valley Parade, there's a feel. Listen, we're the biggest team in this league. I think, and I think that everyone's got everyone's got a right for that because you've got 17,000 fans behind you. So I think that's part of it all. I think that's kind of that's like, right, okay, we should be dominating, we should be winning, but unfortunately it doesn't work that easy sometimes. And Wolves were a big one for it. I think we lost 4 in a row, and it was chaos. It was, but we then won 20, so it was like, right, okay, it's fine. So, but like I think in it is a hard one. It is trying to balance it. The club have been obviously disappointed last year getting the playoffs. It's all about bouncing back and all these words about hangover from last season stuff. I mean, it's there's no hangover from last season. That's football. But yeah, like I don't mind. I think if fans and people want to think we've got a right to be in the league above because you've got a lot of money into the club and you're bringing these fans home and away, then like let them think that, because as players we know ourselves we should be playing at a level consistently, we're winning each game and giving ourselves a chance of promotion. That's all that they ask for, and that's all that we look to give, because we know ourselves that we should be up that top end of the table. There's no questions asked. That's what I believe in. I said this to the lads each time before the games. I firmly believe when we're going out to win games, and I firmly believe in the long term that we will be up at the top of that league. But yeah, I think when people say we want to be not too big for the league, maybe too big for the league is maybe a different thing, but I think like, do we have a right to believe we belong higher? Then yeah.
The pressure, I guess, when it goes wrong can be quite crippling almost. But if you learn to channel it, as you say, you did with Wolves, didn't you? Learn to channel that pressure and that expectation. Can it surge you? Can it motivate you a little bit as well? I think,
and I've witnessed it at clubs and with certain individuals, it can eat you up if you get caught up in it and if you don't perform, and you start losing, especially at the home games. If you're losing in draws and stuff where you're expected to win, because you are expected to win. That's that. But you got to keep. That's why people play football, isn't it? You want to play football in front of 17,000 fans every week. I think that's what we're here for. Like, and that's why that's a huge reason why I joined, because I know on the flip side of that, when you're doing well, teams come to your stadium and they're half defeated before the ball's even kicked. And if they know that you're about to be relentless in playing football and pressure and attacking and shots and goals, then like it makes it a hard place to come. Simple as that.
Does the manager, whether it's you or someone else, does the manager inherit a squad that's ready to go, ready to kick on, do you think?
I believe so, yeah. I believe we've brought in good players in the summer. Not saying myself, I'm saying on the whole. Like, I think like we've got good players. We've already had good players here. I think you've got a good mixture of everything here now. I really believe that, and I wouldn't sit here and lie, to be honest with you. I say that in front of the lads. I believe we've got the best squad in the league, and that's the way we've got to believe. We've got to believe that as players, as individuals, and as a team. We've got to believe that. Otherwise, why are we here at the end of the day? So I believe that. I'll always believe that. And if I'm a player, as a player, I believe that 100%. Every single time I go on the pitch, I think we're going to win. As a manager, I think even more so.